Okay, so we've got a couple of things to do now within this bonus step. What we're going to make are basically 3 unique treasures that you can find throughout the map. And this is just to be an extra incentive for people to explore and find these 3 unique treasures. So what those are going to be are these 3 gemstones, and we can find them, by looking in our Techability folder, bonus, and you'll see gem blue, gem green, and gem red. You can actually just grab all 3 of those. By pressing the control key and clicking on all of them. And we'll drag them out into our world. And if we click on one and press the F key with our mouse over the scene view, we'll see they spawn kind of in the middle of the map, and that's fine for now. So we need to do a couple of things to get these to work. The first thing we need to do is add some indicators to our player canvas that indicates whether or not these have been picked up. Now, if you didn't do the mini-maps, the bonus step from, I believe, week 2, you'll need to right-click in your hierarchy, go to UI, and click Canvas. Now, if you did do the mini-map bonus step, then we're going to use our same canvas as we did for the mini-map. So we're going to click into there, and we're going to create a UI image. Not a raw image like we did the first time, but just an image. And we can go ahead and press the F key, and that's going to take us all the way up to where that guy's at. And right now, by default, we start with this box, and we're going to clean that up a little bit. And the way we're going to do that is going over to our image panel on the right here. We're going to look at this source image and click on this target looking icon. And that's going to bring up a menu to select a sprite. What we're going to select is this knob sprite here, this circular sprite. And that works perfectly. And then all we need to do is change the color of this. We're going to click on the color field there and drag this color icon down into the grays. We want it to be like a dark gray, not quite black, but like a dark gray, to make it clear that this is something that needs to be picked up. Then what we're going to do is rename this to gem. And then we'll select it, and we'll move it over to the left side of our canvas. So okay, see where our mini map is here. If you don't have the mini map, that's okay, but we're going to grab it and slide it over to the left, just like that. So it's inside this white line here, and we'll move it up a little bit. We want to leave some space in the corner because we're going to add some stuff next week, but we'll set it right about here. It's probably fine. And then what we're going to do is do that trick we learned earlier where we press Control and D with this object selected and make a duplicate. And we're going to move that one down just a hair and do it one more time because we want to have 3 gems or 3 objects here to represent our 3 gems. I'm actually going to rename them again, but I'm going to call the first one Gem 1. This one will be Gem 2. And this one will be Gem 3. All right, once we've got all of that ready to go, what we need to do is select our 3 gems here, 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to click on the Add Component button, and we're going to make a new script, and we're going to call this one Gem. So we're going to hit New Script and type Gem in and hit Create and Add. And that's going to create a script on all 3 of our objects, but we need to go back to our Assets folder and make sure we move that script into the resources folder. Again, that's vital to make sure that we can get credit for doing this step. Next we're going to do is open up our gem script, and once we're inside, we're going to do just a little bit of coding here. We're going to delete our update and start methods because we're not going to use those. And we're going to do a public, we're going to hit public image. And you'll notice IntelliSense doesn't want to use an image. That's because we need to add a using Unity Engine UI line to our headers up here at the top. That's going to give us access to UI elements in our code. So using Unity Engine.ui with that semicolon. And then what we're going to say is public image gem image, just like that. And then we're going to say public color my color. And what that's going to do is allow us to change the color of our image when we pick up the gem. Now we're going to say private void on trigger enter, and add our open and close parentheses, add the collider other in there, and then we're going to say if other.tag equals player. So if other.tag equals player, we're going to say gem image dot color equals my color, and then destroy this dot game object. And again, that's to make sure that that when we pick it up, we don't want to be able to pick it up multiple times. And so this is going to overwrite the color of our image and make it clear to our player that they picked up one of our unique treasures. Next up, what we want to do is go back over to Unity. And each of our gems is going to have this black color down here. So the first thing we want to do with all three of our gems selected is click on My Color and drag this bottom value here, the A value. We're going to drag that all the way over to the right. And that's what's called the alpha channel. That's what controls the transparency of our colors. And if it's all the way to the left, our colors will be see-through, but if it's all the way to the right, it won't be at all. Next, what we want to do is select each gem individually. So I'm going to start with the blue gem, and I'm going to expand this material component down here at the bottom. And what I'm going to do is click on this little icon here, this little, it's like a little, I forget what they're called in real life, but what it's called in most software is a color picker tool. It's this little squeezy thing. We're going to click on that. And right after we click it, without clicking anywhere else, we're going to mouse over this albedo field right here. And specifically, we want to mouse over the blue. And what that's going to do is match this color exactly to the color of our gem. We're going to do the exact same thing for both the other gems, the green and the red. So there's our green color. We're going to expand red and get red. There we go. And then the last thing we need to do is go back to our gem 1 or our blue gem and drag this gem 1 image into our gem image field. And we're going to do the same thing for gem green. We're going to add gem 2. And for the red one, we're going to do gem 3. So each of these will have a separate gem image associated with them. Now what we can do is finally go ahead and place these around the world. I'm actually going to move them over right next to my player just to test it out and make sure that that's all working the way it should be. So we're going to drag it and move it over. Almost there. And cool, there we go. I'm going to hit play. And if I grab the green gem, that little icon fills in. If I grab the red one, that one fills in. And the blue one fills that one in as well. And so now that you know that they all work, you are welcome to place them around anywhere in the world. Go ahead and hide them. Try to put them somewhere tricky to get to. Of course, we want to make sure we put them somewhere it's possible to get to. We don't want to make them impossible to find or to access, but we do want these to be like a kind of a bonus incentive for exploring every single island. So place them everywhere you wish, and then we can go ahead and move on to the next step.